Oh, well, good. You got your passport with you. Yes.
This is Mike Maddie. We now have napkins. Tell me which one is it?
I know what we were like 3.
So they called Scott.
And that was nothing there. And they went down materials handling. I don't know whether you know where Buckhorn is.
Oh, yeah, I worked there.
Okay. Well, the parent company of Buckhorn owned 3 plants. One was in St. Louis, one was in Bluffton, one was down in Kentucky. And they decided they were going to close one of them. And so, fortunately, they closed it. Fortunately for us, unfortunate for the people in Kentucky, but we ended up one of the survivors. And that's happening more and more when they narrow. It's not so much new building, but it's moving some other business into here. The snack food companies are going great guns. Well, they tell me, and they say this always happens. It's counter-cyclical. It goes against the cycle. But they said when people start staying home more, they'll eat more pretzels and potato chips. So instead of going out to a movie, they stay home and watch TV. And so they're adding lines and jobs. And even Almco Steel, we just approved some tax incentives for them, and they make truck parts. That's still owned by BRC. That whole property is still owned by BRC. They had some environmental problems there. I'll give you the long history, and the long history is that BRC bought it because they needed a place to store stuff. This has been 34 years. They just needed a building with a roof. They weren't going to make anything. And when they bought it, they found that there were some barrels of stuff that they didn't know what for sure it was. They had to pay to have hauled out. If you think about that building when it was Red Cross, they made everything from windmills, which were galvanized steel. They made pontoon boats there at one point in time. I don't know whether that was years ago. So they made a lot, and doing a history of it, we found that a lot of the chemicals they used just got spread on the ground there. Especially lead-based materials used in galvanizing things. Now the good news about lead is it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't infect the water or invade the water supply or anything. The bad news is it'll be there 100 years from now. So they have offered to give that land to the city as a park, but we don't want it when it's got some cleanup to be done on it, because we can't afford to clean it up. So that's where we are. The BRC has tried their very best, and they've asked the state. They said, just tell us what we need to do. If we need to scrape off 10 feet of dirt and have it disposed of, that's fine. But the state won't promise them that they'll give them a letter, give them a pass, no matter what they do. It used to be before they had been a TV and air conditioning, and I think air conditioning is probably the worst thing that's happened to society, because we don't sit out on our porches anymore. People don't go out and walk. We've got people that live in town that never leave air conditioning on summer day. They get up, get into their car in their enclosed garage, drive to work, park in a parking garage, get out, go into the office, and reverse the car. Never exposed to it. If it's raining, they never get a drop of water on. But having said all that, one of the things that we're missing now is where the generations interact with each other. There aren't that, families don't stick together, stay together, or don't stay in the community. I'm the odd one. I was born here and was 10 miles from both sets of grandparents, and that used to be the norm, and that just isn't anymore. And sometimes it takes an effort, but these kids growing up need to see some people who have done it right, and that's you.